Speaker, members like that one with the fake outrage as their colleagues.
Fake outrage. Apparently that's what the Liberals are calling it these days. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today, got Conservatives get absolutely pissed off in the House of Commons when the Liberals call it fake outrage that Canadians can't afford baby formula. We also got a criminal mastermind here residing in Canada, one of the biggest kingpins that the Americans are trying to take down. We got a Crown Corporation exec ripping off Canadians. Let's jump into this. We got this one from Blacklock's reporters, planes, limos, and 85% increase. Pierre Tremblay, $344,000 a year, president of the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, billed taxpayers for limos, a stay at a French resort, hotel, and dozens of flights between Ottawa and Toronto, rather than take a train, access to information records show. Tremblay hiked his travel and hospitality budget 85% this year, despite cabinet directives to cut unnecessary spending. It's more hypocrisy from these liberal-pointed buffoons. Goes on to talk about all the numbers here. $3,500 on limo rides, $27,000 on airfare, 37 flights, $500 per night at Delta Hotel, Sheridan, $43 for breakfast. It's just more wasteful spending. $9,000 business class airfare. Like, come on. Jumping over to the House.
Canadians are paying the price for this Prime Minister through record-high grocery and housing cost inflation, but he wants them to pay even more. He's doubled Justin Trudeau's deficit, the biggest deficit in Canadian history outside of COVID, $16 billion bigger than he promised, shattering his other promise to reduce the debt to GDP ratio. And the bureaucracy is taking the lion's share, 80% more costly when these Liberals took office. The Liberal House leader said just yesterday there will only be minimal reductions in the bureaucracy. Why must starving Canadians pay to feed this bureaucracy rather than feeding their families?
Mr. Speaker, you know what helps families is good-paying jobs, and that's why we have had such a tremendous response to this budget, including from the building trades unions, Mr. Speaker, who said that they're grateful to all parliamentarians who supported the federal budget and acted in the best interest of Canadians. So I guess that doesn't include the Conservatives who voted against those very Canadians they say they stand up for.
Look at this one from M. Brandt here. This sums it up. Canada Consumer Price Index, 1993 to present. So we've got Jean Chrétien, and you can see the price here, this wiggly white line here. Paul Martin comes in, it's still going up. Stephen Harper comes in, still going up. We got a global financial crisis. Then we've got the world event, jumps up. Justin Trudeau, and still going up. We need a turnaround here. We can't have everything be so expensive in our country. We literally could be the richest country on earth, and yet the spending is out of control. Special interest is out of control. Canadian interests are not at the forefront.
Prime Minister is beginning yet another costly photo op tour. It's time to start asking for the results of the more than 20 international trips, the 150,000 kilometers, enough to circle the globe 4 times. It would be great if he were actually getting something done. But he met with the Americans. They doubled tariffs on our products. He met with the Chinese. They hit us with new tariffs on our farmers and fish harvesters. He met with the Indians. They've hit us with new tariffs on Canadian peas. The British are still blocking our beef. Can the Prime Minister give us even one example of a tariff that his international meetings have succeeded in reducing?
The answer is zero. There's zero. Here's Mark Carney heading over to the UAE.
Mark Carney in Ottawa late last night, boarding his flight to the United Arab Emirates. Carney is still en route this hour. He'll touch down in Abu Dhabi near midnight local time. It's a short visit for the Prime Minister, but also another key mission on the trade file, making international deals and reducing Canada's reliance on the United States. Ashley Burke is one of the journalists traveling with the Prime Minister, and she has the details on his trip.
The UAE has a lot of money to invest. It's home to some of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, and the Prime Minister is trying to leverage his credibility as a former central banker to attract more investment to Canada at a time when Donald Trump is still pummeling some sectors with tariffs.
Yeah, but why is he doing that? They never tell the truth here. He's doing it to enrich his own funds. He created the biggest green funds on earth at Brookfield, and he's using that money. He wants to use that money to bring it in and pump the value of those funds. I wish there was just honesty he wants on the news here. And by the way, look at this giant jet. How many people are going there? Why doesn't he take a small jet? This is ridiculous. This thing is massive. And he has the audacity to say that we have to be low carbon this, low carbon that. The hypocrisy is rich.
Well, you have to look at this trip through the filter of Mr. Carney's larger objective of expanding Canadian trade and also attracting investment to Canada. He talks a lot about attracting investment, and the UAE is one of the biggest investors out there. So
yeah, and where did the UAE get their money? They built it off of oil. He wants the UAE's oil money and to bring it into Canada for his green grift. This is ridiculous. Now, the UAE are looking to invest in sure investments, things that will grow. So depending on who it is, we saw Donald Trump the other day, Saudi Arabia came over investing $1 trillion. They know it's likely they'll get a good return on their investment. Is Carney so sure? You have to remember, he started GFANZ, Glasgow Finance Alliance for Net Zero, and he had a bunch of companies on board. BlackRock, one of the founding companies. He had all the banks on board. Now they've all left. Likely though, he's going to use Brookfield, his ties at Brookfield, to say, don't worry, it's super safe. We have these big funds. Come on over. Bring your money over. He's using everyone and anyone to enrich himself.
I'm sure that he's going to be pitching various different kinds of projects, whether it's infrastructure or energy, to the UAE as an investment opportunity in Canada.
These university professors don't have a clue what's going on. They bring them on to talk like they have some sort of knowledge on this. They don't have a clue.
Expected to meet with the heads of those wealth funds and sit down with the president of the UAE. A senior Canadian official says the hope is that Canada can finally sign a formal investment agreement. It would lay the groundwork and rules for more investment to flow. But human rights experts are questioning this visit. The UAE is facing allegations that it's supporting a paramilitary force accused of atrocities in Sudan's civil war. The UAE has denied the allegations, and a senior Canadian official says that's been noted, but that Canada doesn't have the luxury right now of only trading with countries where they agree on everything. Instead, the official said the Carney government is taking a more pragmatic approach to work with countries on what they can agree on. Now, after this visit to Abu Dhabi, Carney will be headed to South Africa for the G20.
What Carney's really doing is he's going over to check on these investments here, including this catalytic transition fund, which already has big money from the UAE in it. United Arab Emirates, $2.4 billion, world's largest private investment vehicle for climate finance. That's what he's going to check in on. He wants to see if he can get more money pumped into this. Not to mention these other projects here that Brookfield and the UAE are together invested with. If he gets a deal, the only thing it'll do is enrich one of these. It's just sad that these reporters don't have the courage to actually bring this stuff up.
Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
The opposition has been in this House for more than 20 years with not much to show. Here's what we've accomplished in the last few months in trade. We've signed new trade deals with Ecuador, with Indonesia. We advanced trade discussions with ASEAN, Philippines, Thailand, wrapping up.
None of those are real deals. Indonesia, that is a loan that Justin Trudeau set up. Like, come on, guys. We've got quite the story here. Canadian Olympian turned alleged street candy lord faces new charges over ending a witness. This is what we have in the news here, and they're showing a photo here. So it looks like he was a snowboarder. Former Olympian.
Today, the Justice Department is proud to announce new developments in our ongoing investigation into Ryan James Wedding. Wedding is the former Olympian from Canada who is now the leader of a transnational criminal enterprise. He's currently on the FBI's and has been top 10 most wanted list. He controls one of the most prolific and violent drug trafficking organizations in this world. He is currently the largest distributor of
the Cocoa White Bam Bam powder. So he's a bad guy. Eventually they bring in the RCMP commissioner. He talks on this. This is getting announced in America. This situation is so bad that the Americans are having to deal with this. This is just so disgraceful. This is what our country's become. Justin Trudeau and now Mark Carney allowing this stuff to happen. All this Mexican cartel, the precursors coming in from China, making the street fennel. Canada's become a world hub shipping out this garbage around the world.
He used a Canadian website called The Dirty News to post photographs of the witness and his wife in order to locate him, which ultimately succeeded. The witness...
I'm not exactly sure how that worked out, but he bribed someone or someone posted photos and then they were able to go find this guy and end him. This is just unreal what we have in our news. So he was pew-pewed in a restaurant.
Canadians with ties to the Wedding organized crime group. I want to emphasize that our work is not done. Fugitive Ryan Wedding remains one of the top threats to Canadian public safety.
Yeah, so does the brass of the RCMP. Let's get real here. You guys protect the government when they're doing activities which should be at least investigated, if not charged, like SNC-Lavalin. These guys are a joke. Also, why is this guy's name Wedding? Ryan Wedding. What a weird name.
As per the previous indictment, continues to run an over $1 billion a year criminal enterprise.
$1 billion a year company in Canada running the street candy. That isn't bad enough. This one from Global News. About 450 people in Chips and Hummus crew have ties to Canada, including a top leader and financier, Global News has learned. This is the kind of people we're bringing into our country. And old Liberal voting grandmas have no idea what's going on. Jumping back to the House, things are getting especially worse for mothers.
Since 2017, inflation on baby formula is double what it is in the U.S. Double. We are overly reliant on imported infant formula, and we only have one plant in Canada, which means every single tax on transportation, every supply chain disruption, every single tariff threat hits Canadian families harder. This is due to a lack of any kind of action from any of these Liberals for the last 10 years. Will they finally make this a priority so that parents can afford to feed their babies formula?
Maybe the member didn't read the article where the Canada Research Chair, Ms. Leslie Frank, said that the Canada Child Benefit should be increased, which, by the way, it is every year, Mr. Speaker, because it's pegged to inflation, where the expert said that formula...
Yeah, the inflation that's being jacked up by you guys.
...should be produced in Canada. In this budget, we have money for innovation in agriculture, Mr. Speaker. How does that member think that Canada will be able to do anything if she votes against Canadians' interests time and time again?
Votes against Canadians' interests. You guys put people in the streets. We have major companies leaving all the time. We have a new report just yesterday that came out that's showing doctors, nurses, and scientists are fleeing Canada. We're losing our best immigrants, and she has the audacity to say that.
What's deeply wrong is the fact that parents are waiting every single day for those checks just so they can afford to put groceries on the table. What is deeply wrong is that mothers are begging strangers online for money just so they can afford to buy baby formula. What's deeply wrong is that parents are resorting to buying opened bottles and cases of formula, powdered formula, just so they can feed their kids. This is because of this government's lack of action. So will they actually do something other than just create more bureaucracy? We need action.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. She's got the real passion here. This wasn't a script. She wasn't reading something. This comes from everyday people, I'm sure, talking to her and pleading with her the desperation that Canadians are having.
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, members like that one with the fake outrage as their colleagues stand up and vote against the very mother.
I encourage everyone in Canada to send Patty Hajdu an email. Subject line, fake outrage. Here's her email, patty.hajdu@parle.gc.ca. Disgusting conduct by her in the House. Yeah, it's a nice deflection. It's not working. Send her an email. You don't have to look far to see these statistics. Food Banks Canada, right on the front of their page here, right now, 1 in 4 people in Canada don't have access to the food they need to be at their best. Right on the government website, 23% of Canadian population now lives in food insecure households, representing almost 9 million Canadians. And of that, 32% food bank clients are newcomers to Canada. We're not bringing in doctors and engineers, and we're absolutely burdening our medical system and our food banks.
The Honourable Minister.
The member opposite fails to acknowledge is that she voted against every measure that helps single mothers right now, every single day, whether it's fees reduced by early learning and childcare, whether it's access to dental care for children that don't have dental care benefits, whether it's fighting against school food, Mr. Speaker. These conservatives stand up. They say they feel the pain of moms, especially single moms, but when push comes to shove, they vote against them time and again.
This is weak. She's trying to put on her Justin Trudeau head, just like ham it up. It's not working. You could see the real anguish in Layla's face here when she was talking about this. Patty Hyju doesn't give a rat's.
What he's saying is that through socialist programs, Canadians can be provided for. That Canadians shouldn't be able to make ends meet on.
Major outrage here.
There's nothing unparliamentary about that word. The honourable member for Lethbridge, from the top.
Food prices in this country have risen by 40%, which is way higher than 40% faster than the United States of America, which goes to prove that it has a whole lot to do with this government and its socialist policies. Now, Stats Canada shows that beef is up 17%, chicken is up 6%, apples is up 4%, and baby formula is up 6%. The most stolen item in a grocery store because parents are desperate due to this government's mismanagement. So, folks are suffering. I hosted a town hall last week. Their faces, their stories came forward. These are more than stats, folks. What will this government do about it?
Well, Mr. Speaker, that's why I'm so proud to be a Liberal, because Liberals believe in helping each other. We believe that when a single mom is having a tough time, we should be there for her. We believe that when a family...
That is not true. They'll say, oh yeah, we take care of people, childcare program. Yet most people don't get access to the childcare program. Very few. But it runs up our debt. Instead, we could just make everything cheaper for everyone. But that's not what they want to do. These people are sick and twisted how they're running our country.
Down on their luck, we should have an employment insurance program that helps people out when they lose their job. We believe that when people can't access dental care for sometimes up to 20 years and live in pain, we should do something about that as a country. And you know what, Mr. Speaker? That's what Canadians believe. It's why we're known for our universal health care system, Mr. Speaker, because we care about each other.
Our universal healthcare system is a joke. I saw a recent report showing top 20 countries with healthcare. Canada wasn't even in the top 20. This one here, I need to correct myself. It's the top 30. Look, top 30. Canada is nowhere to be found on this list. Our universal healthcare isn't this golden thing to be sought after anymore. It's become an absolute joke.